Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a journey through history to uncover some of the wealthiest people who ever lived. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through the ages. Let's kick things off with the 1st century BC. Meet Marcus Licinius Crassus, Rome's original billionaire. With a staggering 200 million sesterces, that's roughly $2 billion in today's money, Crassus was so rich, he could have bought Rome itself. Talk about a hefty wallet. Fast forward to the 1st century AD, and we've got Emperor Augustus. He didn't just redefine power, he redefined wealth. As Rome's first emperor, Augustus turned rich into a whole new level of limitless. The 2nd century was all about Emperor Trajan, who expanded the empire, and his fortune. Rome was at its peak, and so was Trajan's treasure chest. It's safe to say his piggy bank was practically overflowing. In the 3rd century, we've got Septimius Severus. Being emperor meant he had a direct line to the Roman treasury. His wealth, well, let's just say his ATM was the imperial vault. By the 4th century, Constantine the Great came along, uniting the empire and stacking up the zeros in his bank account. Whether Christian or pagan, Constantine proved that gold truly speaks every language. The 5th century was a bit shaky for Rome, but Valentinian III held tight to the Western Empire's remaining riches. While the city crumbled, his coffers stayed intact. Jump to the 6th century, and we find Justinian I, who wasn't just about rebuilding the Byzantine Empire, he was rebuilding his fortune. The Mediterranean might as well have been his private swimming pool. In the 7th century, Emperor Heraclius had his hands full with Arab invasions but still managed to keep those Byzantine coffers brimming. Talk about juggling multiple crises with style. Welcome to the 8th century, where Harun al-Rashid turned Baghdad into a golden oasis. With 530 million dirhams pouring in annually, he was living out his own Arabian Nights fantasy. The 9th century saw Charlemagne uniting Western Europe and its immense wealth. His crown might have been iron, but his pockets, pure gold. Moving on to the 10th century, al-Rahman III was proving that Al-Andalus was the place to be. With a whopping 6.2 million gold dinars a year, Cordoba was the ultimate gold rush. In the 11th century, Henry IV of the Holy Roman Empire showed that German efficiency wasn't just for industry, it extended to amassing massive fortunes too. The 12th century was all about Alexios I Komnenos, who kept Byzantium wealthy despite the constant threat of crusaders. Managing an empire while keeping your wealth intact. Now that's impressive. Enter the 13th century with Genghis Khan, who conquered half the known world and probably had the other half in his net worth. His empire wasn't just vast, his fortune was legendary. In the 14th century, Mansa Musa took a legendary pilgrimage to Mecca and accidentally crashed the gold market. His wealth was so staggering, it was practically, break the economy, rich. The 15th century introduced Jakob Fugger, the banker who was way ahead of his time. With a fortune of $400 billion, Fugger's wealth would make today's billionaires green with envy. Then, in the 16th century, Akbar the Great turned the Mughal Empire into a treasure trove. India's golden age had a new meaning, thanks to his enormous wealth. In the 17th century, Louis XIV, the Sun King, made Versailles and his bank account equally opulent. L'état, c'est moi, wasn't just a statement, it was a reflection of his incredible wealth. The 18th century saw Catherine the Great expanding Russia and her collection of riches. The world's largest country came with an equally impressive wallet. Moving into the 19th century, John D. Rockefeller struck oil and struck it rich. With Standard Oil, he set the golden standard for wealth. In the 20th century, Henry Ford revolutionized the assembly line and his bank statement. Turns out, Model Ts weren't just a model for industry, they were a model for wealth. And finally, in the 21st century, Jeff Bezos took online shopping to new heights. From a humble bookstore to tech titan, his wallet went prime with astronomical profits. But here's a thought to chew on: who do you think will be the wealthiest person of the 22nd century? A Mars colony tycoon, an AI overlord? Drop your predictions in the comments. That's a wrap on our journey through history's wealthiest figures. Which billionaire's story blew your mind the most? Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing historical deep dives. Until next time, keep dreaming big.